Hello everyone, it's Jessica here with another layout for Shimmerz Design Team. Today I am doing a fun mixed media layout, so I am starting this with a texture sheet of cardstock here, and I'm applying some clear gesso to my background to hold up to some heavy mixed media. This will prevent some major warping with adding a lot of wet medias to your paper, and it will also make your paints and things that you're using more blendable. So if I were to apply those paints directly onto my paper, it would just kind of absorb it. I am actually using some inspiration today by one of my favorite Instagrammers, and she had this beautiful decor piece that she just created based on a paper issues. I think it was either a sketch or a Scrap Left Sunday or something, but she created hers into a wall art. So I had her little example there that popped up on the screen along with her Instagram handle, and I am just creating one like hers but for a scrapbook page. So I loved the banner design and how she did hers. I am doing mine a little bit different. I am just trimming mine down with my Tim Holtz trimmer here, and I'm just eyeballing them. So I think mine ended up being around 4¼ inches by 2¼ I think that's what they were. And then I just cut the bottom pieces off just by folding them in half and just trimming that bottom off. I'm just matting my photos here with some smooth white cardstock first, and then I'm using some scraps left over from the last layout that I did. You can see that moon was a little cut file that I had left in my scraps that I used, and I apparently saved the scrap from it as well, so I had that. And I love that little starry paper, so I wanted to use that to back my photo and just have a little bit peeking out. And I'm just creating some more layers here with the black and white straight paper from this collection. The collection that I'm using today is by Bella Boulevard. It's called Spell on You, and I just love it. I love all the colors in it. And I'm not using traditional Halloween pictures today. I am using some pumpkin carving photos of my boys from, I forget what year right now, but yeah, that's what I'm going to use. So I am just adding a little bit of water to my background just to have an anchor point for my mixed media to go. And then I am just using my paintbrush and some more additional water to just kind of smush on and move around these different colors that I'm using. So that dark orange one is called Carrot Top in Shimmerz. And then the kind of medium one there in the middle is Oh My Squash. It's really, really super shimmery and just has a really pretty tint to it. And then the other yellowish one that I'm using today is called Dandelion, and it is a Creameez. The difference between the Creameez versus the Shimmerz are a lot more shimmery. When they dry, they are a bit lighter. The Creameez, I find they're a little bit more pigmented. They also come non-activated, so they come kind of hard in the little pot that you see it in, and then you have to activate it by adding some water and just kind of letting it sit for a few moments. And my baby girl is coming in to help. She wants to do some mixed media today too, so she is trying to grab all my little lids and pots and paintbrushes and all the things, so she was having a blast as well. I decided to dry these layers up in between, just using my heat gun and kind of moving my paper around as I went. As you saw, I pick up my paper to kind of blend those colors together, and I would not be able to do that if I did not apply the gesso beforehand. So it really helps to get all those colors to blend together, and then it looks like this when it's almost dry. So I added some additional splatters just to break up those colors. I'm actually grabbing some white acrylic paint at this point and watering that down to put some white splatters. I wanted a little bit more of a marbly effect and just kind of break up those colors, and you'll see it in the close-ups in the end how beautiful that looks and just what it adds to those colors. So here I've got my banner strips. I'm going to go ahead and distress the edges of each one of these just using my edge distresser. Then I'm also going to pop over to my sewing machine and do some machine stitching around all of these little banner pieces. I just felt like they were just dying to be stitched around the edge, so I really wanted to add that to these little banners. So I just have a Brother sewing machine, nothing too crazy or fancy. That's what I use. So I have that done at this point. You can see the little stitches on there now. Those are all prepared. I've got my photos here that I roughed up the edges just using my fingernails. And I've pulled out a lot of various bits. So I've actually pulled out some 49 and Market from the Art Options Spice collection. And I really loved those leaves. And at first I was kind of struggling at what embellishments I wanted to use on this. So I'm doing a bit of stash and busting and just grabbing bits and bobs from my stash, from my Halloween bin, from my 49 and Market bin. I really loved these rub-ons, so I'm actually going to grab a couple of those to add to my page. And I wasn't sure what direction I wanted to go because the example that I was using had some flowers on it, and I know Cassie from Paper Issues did one. Hers had flowers on it as well, and I didn't really want to go the floral route, and I didn't think I really had many Halloween-themed florals other than maybe the ones that I got in the Paige Evans collection, but at this point in time, I forgot that I even had received that collection, and I had it sitting here. And I only got little bits of it too. I didn't manage to grab all of it when it was in stock. So I only have like little bits of it. But I think I did get the sticker sheet. So that had a couple flowers on it. So you'll see those come in towards the end here when I realized that I had it. And until then, I'm just grabbing bits and pieces from my stash. I really try to make that ghost work. I tried to make him work on my last layout that I posted as well, but he's still here, and I actually don't put him on this layout either. So I think I'm going to make that one of my goals. I'm going to use him on a layout this year just to get him used up. And he's super cute. It's just he hasn't went with the vibe of the past two layouts that I've had. So I ended up not using him, and I'm just sorting through my embellishments here in my Bella Boulevard collection and just pulling out a few different pieces that I think I may want to use. I ended up pulling out a little October banner, and I ended up grabbing a little label by 49 Market to put underneath where those little wordy bits are at the bottom. And I ended up leaving it blank when I do grab that because I want to stamp my date on it. So I didn't know what date offhand, and I didn't feel like looking it up, so I'm just going to leave it blank. But you'll see that here in a minute. I'm just adding little bits and bobs and things that I find in my stash and collection. I'm going to go ahead and do this rub-on transfer. I do use the tool that comes in the package, but I don't use the pointed end. I like to use the flat end. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I just find that it works better to use the flat end. So, I don't know. It just works better for me. And then I really liked this little boo, so I'm going to end up putting that on there, but I was trying to decide where to put everything, and I knew that I wanted to stamp a little spider web like Evelyn's layout had, so I want to get that stamped on here now before I add too much around this, and I can't go back and do that. But you can see that beautiful mixed media in the background. It's super shimmery. It's all dry now, so that's what it looks like. And my paper actually flattened out really well whenever I was just messing with it and putting all the rest of the embellishments on it. And it'll finish flattening out in my scrapbook as well when I put it into the album. But if you're worried about warping, you can always run this through a hot laminating machine if you have one. I have a Mink for my larger scrapbook pages, so I usually run them through there and it flattens them out right away. Here's that little label that I was telling you about. I'm just going to leave that blank because I do want to stamp my date on it, but I can't remember the exact date that I took these photos right now. So I'm just going to add that on later, but for the sake of this layout and the photos, I am just going to leave that blank. But just imagine that it has a date stamped on it. I decided to pull out some more stamp sets that I just got from a Cherry on Top. I think there's a Catherine Puller one in here and another one from my stash from Studio Calico, I think it was. So I'm going to pull out a couple of those. I'm going to do this little pumpkin rub-on transfer because it's just adorable and I love it. I think it looks super cute up there. And I'm just trying to create a little cluster down here like Evelyn's layout had. And I really want to try to make that camera work, but I do stick it on there and then I ended up pulling it off and putting something else on there because it just didn't go with my vibe that I was looking for. And I ended up putting that one pumpkin on there actually. So that one's going to go there eventually, but I'm going to go ahead and stick all these down. I'm going to thread some embroidery floss through the top around the banner pieces and get all of these little banner strips stuck down to my layout. And then I'm going to finish adding a few more embellishments. So I want to say thank you to Paper Issues and Evelyn for their beautiful inspiration. I love to be inspired by other people, just like you guys get inspiration from me. So thank you so much, Cassie and Evelyn, for your beautiful projects. And I will try, if I remember, to link them down below in my description. I'm also going to link down below all of the things that I can find that are still in stock in any of the shops. I'll link them below for anything that I've used, and I will also put my link for the Shimmerz website down there. If you use my name Jessica in the notes section of your order, if you decide to place an order for the Shimmerz products, you'll get a free gift along with your order, and they're always really good gifts. It's not just something, you know, that's left in the shop or sitting around or anything like that. It's always an amazing product, so you definitely want to make sure you do that if you place an order. I'm just going to continue embellishing this and getting these last few items stuck down to my layout. So here's what the finished layout looks like. I absolutely love this one. I cannot wait to pop this one into my display on my wall for this month of October. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thanks for watching, and I hope I've inspired you to create something today. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.